Today, I'm joined by an extraordinary musician and a freelance professional, a multi-instrumentalist from Brazil whose work blends intuition, tradition, and innovation. He has focused on string instruments, including electric and acoustic guitars, as well as basses. He participated in occasional musical projects as a guitarist, dedicating a significant amount of his time to studying repertoire focused on folk and Brazilian popular music. So, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Bighetti, Eric Bighetti. Welcome to my channel and my music hub.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy. So glad to be here, my friend. What do you have today?
All good. So,
Yeah,
first things first, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience and to our friends?
introduce myself. Just an ordinary guy that who loves, is deeply connected to music in many, instance. I would say that it's my sec I think music is my life thing, my reason to be here. So basically, but I would say that I am an educator, right? I work as a teacher, but my musical thing is all everywhere, since making money with it, not making money with it, as a listener, as a player, it's kind of everywhere. So, you know, in terms of my connection to these instruments and to music, it's a world. It's like a universe that's totally connected to what I am now. Yeah. But
Excellent.
basically, you can see like a 43 years old man that's teaching, currently teaching, and that breathes music, basically.
Excellent. Tell us about your musical roots. What was your first instrument? How did your musical journey begin?
Wow, that's cool, man. I love to talk about that because it's all about rock and heavy stuff. I mean, um, Iron Maiden was as far as I understand, as a human being, Iron Maiden was my great godfather of music. I'm not saying that in my playing, in my instrument, it's Iron Maiden thing. I just came back with the bass guitar now. Now I came back to Iron Maiden, but my journey started by listening to Iron Maiden albums, and then from that point, everything just started to amplify in terms of rock, and I started to deeply enjoy the experience of listen to metal and this genre and rock and roll. I remember that there were things that was fascinating is because we have the sound and the scary figures and the scary covers and these bizarre elements that I identified myself with and still identify myself. You know, I remember by looking at the covers of Iron Maiden that at first, and then connecting to their songs, and also seeing the figure of Ginny Simmons of Kiss with that big tongue, with that makeups, that evil eye, and those makeups, and that was so fascinating to me. All this universe of magic and stuff. And in terms of instrument, everything started when I was 15. I was already a huge fan of rock. I mean, huge fan, huge fan. I mean, full of CDs, albums, Iron Maiden, KISS, Judas Priest, Metallica, a proper headbanger at that time. And it was frustrating because I only had an acoustic guitar to start with. And I couldn't do power chords, power chords and guitar, only two fingers. And it sounded crap because that sound was so boring and and then that was like kind of first experience with bass lines, I would say, because I was playing just the bass root notes on the, you know, acoustic guitar, like nylon guitar back then. Like, so I was just playing the, you know, the root notes and following the songs intuitively, right? And that was back like when I was 15. And that was funny because since I didn't have an electric guitar, it was a bit frustrating because I wanted so badly, like, sound like a proper rock and proper, you know, at least close to these, you know, kind of sounds. And then I discovered the power chords by doing this thing. And 6 months later, I got my first electric guitar from my uncle because I broke his strings by playing his guitar. Yeah, I was playing his guitar and I just, you know, broke the strings and said, "No, you're never gonna do that again." And then I said, "Sorry, uncle. Think I was like playing. Not he was not like he didn't know about this. I was just playing. You know, he was working and I was playing his guitar. You know, only one chord, and that's it." And he got me a guitar. You're never gonna play my guitar again because you got your own now. And he handed me my first guitar. I still have it. Yeah, and that was like a blast for me, and that's how it began, you know. And I think my musical journey began with power chords. You know, if you can translate to the public, power chords, you put finger and the, like, the root note plus the fifth, I think, you know, and then you do like this, and then I started to create riffs, following the riffs, picking, you know, and that's how it started. I'm a riff guy. I love riffs. I love lines and more than solos, right? Actually, honestly, I like more into riff and lines and the grooves, the rhythms. That's more fascinating to me as a musician rather than impressive solos. And I admire it, but I think the magic of guitar and bass are more linked to riffs and solos. That's more remarkable. You're gonna remember, for example, the Iron Man or even Smoke and Water because not because of the solo. It's gonna remember because of the riffs, you know, and that was the magic for me. Riffs and lines and the bass lines, of course. It's all together. Riffs and bass lines, that is the same idea.
Excellent.